Hello, this is the ICDL Advanced Qualification Spreadsheet software demonstration. It's another video using Excel 2016 to do that demonstration. My name is Stephanie Toman, and this video is going to be looking at an area of comments, which is very simplistic, but it is part of the syllabus for this qualification. And then name cells, how to name ranges, cells, and use this way, this method if you like, instead of functions and formulas. Some people prefer it this way. And some really good little tools as well. And it shows you how to do a very large calculations in spreadsheets and also naming it as part of that. Also just a little bit on group sheets, which is part of the syllabus too. If you're not looking at this because of the syllabus, you might be just looking just to see how you could use name cells and tables in your work. Okay, so best of luck. Thank you.
Okay, so let's open up the cell comment names folder from your lecture materials. And I'm going to take you through some demonstrations of some of the areas to cover the syllabus again. Okay, so look at comments. I'll open that one up. This is extremely easy. It takes a matter of a few minutes, not even that really, but it just makes sure that I cover it for those of you that may be a little bit unsure. So comments is in the syllabus. So adding a comment, if we go to review, you've got your comments here. You can see a comment because it's flagged. You can change a comment if it exists by editing it, deleting it, and show and hiding it. So you can do that up here as well. All in the review tab. So really there isn't a lot to it. If you edit it, do it properly, type into it rather than just going in and just doing it without the edit feature. Other than that, there really isn't much more to it. So I think you're going to be okay with that. It won't be one question on its own, of course. It will be part of a question. Okay, next one we're going to look at are the named cells. So people always worry about or don't understand why we have named ranges. But for some people, Excel can be a little bit daunting, or they don't like using lots of formula and things. So named cells can help them to work with the application. But we're going to just demonstrate some of the areas that's covered in the syllabus, as well as how it can make life quite easy, really, as well in the real world. So the first area we're going to do is look at the areas that the exam will be covering, the syllabus exam will be covering. So if we go to the Formulas tab, there's an area called Name Manager, Defined Names. It's Name Manager, it's got Defined Names, Apply Names if it's applicable. And if you come to, in a little while, we can use the using formula and create from selection. So I'm going to demonstrate these areas here. So the first one I'm going to demonstrate is the create from selection. The first thing is we go into the, before we use that feature along here, I'm just going to go to the name manager. And the name manager will have all of the range names in the workbook. And as you'll find out later, they may ask you to delete a named range, and we'll show you how to do that. But we haven't got any in there at the moment. So let's create them. We highlight this small range, B4 to F7. Go to the create from selection. The top row in the left column is automatically ticked, and you don't need to change these because it's picking up the headings in both those areas automatically. When I OK, suddenly everything appears within the ranges as it should be. And if we use, do you remember the control and brave accent? So use the control key, tap the key above the tab key. It'll tap and you can see that all of those named ranges. Got price, February, VAT, etc., etc. All of them there. Okay, so that's a really quick way of creating lots of names. Go into the name manager, and that's what we've just done in a matter of seconds by using the create from selection. Really good tool. In the exam, they may ask you to highlight a particular named range. You'll see where it refers to. You can open these up. You can't see the whole end of it. You can see where something is referring to if you're not sure, and you just use the delete and OK, and that's that done. So I'm just going to delete all those ranges again using the Shift key. I can use the delete key, or I can use the delete at the top, and close. Let's move to the next example. Let's close that. I'm not going to save, and let's open up the named ranges just to cover this syllabus area a little bit more. So in here, what we have is, if I highlight that, you can see that this is called VAT. That's a name box up there. Do you see the little name box hovering just below? This one's called price. So what I'm doing is I'm just checking this here to see that the defined names are there. And if I delete those names, remember the formula and the name manager, let's delete those two, and let's see how we actually create them, and close. So this one is going to be for price. So you can go up to the name box here and you can type in price and enter. This is going to be VAT. So you can click on there, type VAT and enter. So now we have them ready. So we're going to do next is we're going into C6. We're following this number 2 here. And we're saying equal C5 times, and the B15 is the VAT down here. If we don't absolute this, let's see what happens. We're happy with that. We've done the sum. We autofill over, and of course, using the control and the grave accent above the tab again, you can see that that's not worked because it's not stayed in B2. We could, if we were au fait with absoluting, highlight the B15 and use the F4 function key until it's totally absoluted. If you miss it, it will run through again. You can see in the formula bar up here where I'm working, and back through. So remember, that moves through all the mixed cell references. We want double absolution. Click on the tick. Oops, not that way. Take it across. And now you can see if you double click and escape, they've all got B15 as they should do. Another way we could do it is if we just take that off. So if we go back to F4, put it back down to relative, and we run it across, then obviously there's another way we can do this. So what we could do using the cell names is we can name this cell. So there, clicked on it, they're up in here. We could put VAT underscore rate. So we've named it, click in here, and we could use the tool use in formula. Now, using formula will use any of the named ranges that are sort of like acquired throughout your naming ranges and that relate to that particular cell. So we know that that's the VAT rate. Tick the box. And for those people that, I keep doing that, take it over. Those people that don't like using absolution and things like that, it's going to make their lives that little bit easier, isn't it, by using that way. So the thing we need to be aware of is creating up in the name box there, or you can use define name and define name and type it in there. You can then go on to pop in different things. If we wanted to name C5 something, we could, but in this case we're just leaving it as it is. We've only named the B15 because it's outside of the autofill when we autofill over, and we've used the using formula to actually override a cell with a name. Okay, so just be aware of all those different things. If you use the Control G as well, another feature, you can jump to named ranges. So you know if we go in and we use Control G and we go to VAT rate and OK, it's gone down to B15. Okay, we're going to leave that for now. Don't save. We're going to look at something a little bit bigger. So let's look at the example cash flow group mode. Something that comes in into the test is called grouping your sheets, which could be useful in these sorts of areas. Let us come down to, we're looking at A33 in this aspect. If I group using a shift, I'll click this first one, use the shift key and click the last one. You can see that all of the sheets are grouped. So if you wanted to put the same information in, let's type your name in here, and you want to put the same information in each of the sheets in exactly the same cell, that's as much as it will do. If you then click on the next sheet and look down, you can see that it has taken that on board. However, if your sheets are still grouped and you forget, you can continue doing the same thing to all of them. So just be really aware. And if you want to delete all of them, then they need to be all highlighted. So if something comes up in the syllabus, group sheets, I just wanted to cover here. So we're going to stay with the example cash flow. I'm just going to come out of there and we're going to look at it a slightly different way. So if we open up first cash flow example and remember formula and name manager. This has all got automatic names, ranges, all names. So we're going to highlight the first one all the way down to the last one, shift and delete. Okay, close it off. We're going to look at how simple it is to do a really large range of data. So if we don't highlight anything and we go to the create from selection, it will do this. And we don't want that because it's got no top or left column, so it's not looking at the headings. So we'll cancel that and we'll make sure that we highlight the data we're going to use. Then we're going to create from selection. We've got the right tick boxes here. That's okay. Let's look in the name manager now, and all of those ranges have been named. The apply names, which we haven't looked at yet, if we use the control and grave accent key, the one above the tab, we can see this then in action when we use it. So anything that's got formula in it, the named ranges within the formula won't work unless you apply them. So this is where apply names comes in. If we click on apply names, we don't need it on the payment one because there's actually nothing there. We can just have it on the rest for ease. Okay, and you notice how there you've got your names dropped into where there's formula now. Escape. Back to control and grave accent. If we come down to the bottom of the spreadsheet, we could start to do some calculations. I'm going to close this, don't save. I want you to have a look at it in the cash flow too. This is not in the syllabus. This is just for ease, for sort of getting across why this sort of area is used. So if you name ranges, you do make life easier with regards to other things. So control and grave accent again. And this is just a demonstration of how easy it is to type in. You've got your equal sign, you've got your first named range, you've got your second name range, double click on the tab, and then what it's doing is if we click on there, okay, and we move up, you can see back into control of grave accent, it's actually doing the restaurant calculation and it's looking at the March figure for restaurants. So it's really quick, if you like, at picking up these things. You can do more than one. So you're going to be starting to use colons and brackets. But really, if you've got two words, always use an underscore as well. So it's just a quick example of why it's so much easier to do named ranges when it comes to large calculations, particularly for some people. But for part of the syllabus, you do need to know the first things that we looked at, which were the named ranges, the name manager, deleting a range from there, applying selection, create by selection, and particularly the use in formula feature. Okay,